Hi everyone. So thanks for joining in. Today we're going to start off a demonstration on DComm, your favorite blockchain protocol for a bunch of fancy use cases. DComm is a very big community, uh, originally initiating from Australia, but nowadays it's capturing markets all around. And we thought it's best that we put out a video series in for that also. So DComm is a protocol that we added quite some time back onto Zeeve. People who are using DComm for different purposes are, I'm sure, very aware of the partnership that both organizations have at the moment. And I'll give you a little bit of an idea of what Zeeve has to offer for this blockchain protocol. So as you can see, I've just signed into my demo account here onto Zeeve platform, and already you can see a bunch of stuff here. Again, if you haven't seen our previous videos, I would highly recommend that you go through our general overview of our platform. But today I'm going to go directly into the DComm deployment and show you guys what we've got in terms of setup and deployment. So if you go to your dedicated node section inside managed services, you can see your existing networks. And while you can see the existing DComm network here, we're going to show you how to create a new one. So you can go ahead and click and create network. And here you can select from various subscriptions that you may already have in your Zeeve account. So you can see I have a DComm subscription present here already. But let's say if you are fresh to the Zeeve platform or don't have a subscription yet, you can just quickly click on this buy subscription, and you can see all the protocols present here that Zeeve supports. So DComm is a fully automated do-it-yourself protocol. And when you select this, you can see all kind of configurations that are relevant for your purchase. So you can select bring your own cloud to select which protocol you want to deploy it on. You can also select Zeeve managed in case you don't want to have the complexity of bring your own cloud. So we provide bring your own cloud to our customers who demand for it, while Zeeve manages the de facto for such deployments. We select no type of full node, but also we have staking as a service for DComm as well, that maybe I'll touch base on in a little bit. So you can see the price for the nodes. You can even purchase multiple nodes at a single time, but I'll just show you how to purchase a single one. You can click on subscribe, from which point onwards you'll be redirected to the payment page, and you can do the purchase for your DComm full node. So I'm going to skip this procedure here and come back to the original deployment because you already have a subscription present here. So I'm going to go ahead and select DComm bring your own cloud GCP, where you can see the name of the network for you to provide an input for. So I'm going to write DComm demo network, and I can set the network type. So Gold Coast is the test network for DComm for which it is running, and Zeeve is also going to be adding mainnet pretty soon because of its launch that has happened recently. We can select the native DComm deployment, so it will set up a dedicated VM for your node, and you can select which kind of workspace do you want this deployment to be present in. So once you go next, you can see the configurations of your node. So you can put down an RPC credential here. I'm going to write DComm admin RPC, and I'm going to put down a strong password for my DComm node. I can select the node name. So this is how I recognize my node onto my dashboard. So I'm just going to write here node A. I can enable what kind of service do I want to enable on DComm. So HTTPS and WebSocket both are supported by DComm and also allowed onto Zeeve platform. So I'm going to select both of them for this demonstration. I'm going to go next here. Because I have already selected GCP, I'll be able to see the regions of GCP as well for my account. So again, I'm going to go with Europe West 2. Let's say I can set my cloud account for GCP. So Zeeve has this amazing capability where you can choose your own cloud accounts. You can configure your own cloud accounts onto Zeeve platform, and you can choose them at the time of deployment, or you can just select Zeeve managed for the purpose of deploying without having to take care of the complexity of setting up the cloud account, which suits a lot of you people out there, as you've noticed. You can set up the instance type as well. So let's say if your instance type is not good enough according to the deployment, Zeeve will let you know that you need to scale your deployment. But I'm gonna take whatever is fair for the time being. You can also set the GCP project. So GCP has an abstraction of all of your resources within GCP projects. So you can select which project do you want to deploy this on. So I'm just gonna go ahead with the test account that I've created for myself, and I'm gonna go ahead and click next. So Zeeve at this point will do all checks within your account, make sure that you've got all the permissions, all your quotas are met, and then it is going to start initiating the deployment itself. It will set up the infrastructure of your node, and right after that, it will start setting up all the provisioning to start doing the software and start downloading snapshot and readying your node for the purpose of access. While this takes some minutes for the infrastructure to come up and then some minutes for the node to set up in itself, we can go ahead and showcase you guys an existing network. So as you can see, this is a dashboard for a DComm node, where you can see the node name, the cloud details, the data of setup, the different node options. So you can look at the monitoring, the analytics of your node. You can stop the node, restart, delete, the status of the node as well. You can check whether the status is completed or not, and you can also view the endpoint in itself for the node. You can also choose to add multiple nodes into the same network. So that's recommended if you want to have extra failovers for your production setup. You can set up multiple nodes, and Zeeve will make sure that the nodes are talking to each other, so you get a consistent view of the data. And you can, of course, delete the network whenever you want as well. This is the RPC endpoint, the connection string that you can use to configure within your application and start using it for your purpose. You can also see some example code snippets of how to connect to the node with the help of your SDKs or just HTTP APIs and such. So present for both WebSocket as well as for HTTP. You can see how you can easily connect to your blockchain node for the purpose of doing transactions, fetching data, all of those good things. One thing I'd like to quickly show and go over is again the metrics, the analytics of your blockchain nodes, because that's where Zeeve thrives quite a lot on. We provide you metrics both on system as well as on blockchain side, where you can see the CPU, RAM, root FS, swaps, as well as the network IO, and what kind of machine specs you have for this node. So this is on system level side, but again, DComm has a bunch of other bits that it throws out in terms of analytics, and we also capture those details as well. So you can see the total staking amount for the network, the staked amount, the network latency, any health checks that have been failure to your node, the bench nodes, the queries success rates, the database operations, peer count. So let's say if your peer count is going beyond decreasing it to a certain amount, then going lesser than a certain threshold, then Zeeve will let you know by an alert that will shoot to you that your node requires some attention because the node count is less. And let's say if your health checks have failed as well, then Zeeve again will throw you alerts that you need to probably look into this because there's some health checks which are failing, which might not be good for your uptime in itself. So this is bring your own cloud features. Again, these alerts make a lot of sense. And similarly, this is just one main chain. We've got AC chain, we've got ATH chain, and all those metrics are fetched and showcased on Zeeve here. While you can also just wait for alerts to pop up if it becomes relevant for you, of course. So this will take a little bit of time. I'll quickly just show you the system metrics as well. And Zeeve again here just showcases you the metrics while you get alerts on the CPU, RAM as well as the disk. So apart from dedicated nodes, I'll also quickly like to showcase you. So this will take a little bit of time to fetch on this node, but I'd like to show you some other cool bits with Zeeve. Without having to set up a dedicated node for yourself, you can also just create an endpoint for yourself. So that requires zero effort and also is very easy to set up for your application purposes. So let's say if I just put down here DComm testnet APIs, then I can select the protocol, DComm again. I can select the Gold Coast test network. I can select the workspace where I want this resource to be created, and I can just click next. I can even secure my RPC endpoint further by enabling JWT option, where I can put my public key of JWT token creation. I can give a name, and this will just make sure that every request that comes in is checked for JWT purpose. It's only you who would rather want to maintain the private key, while you can configure your public key here, and Zeeve will make sure the connections are secured even further. But in any case, we'll go with the standard security for the purpose of creating this endpoint, and I'll just click next. And here you can see in just that click, you will be able to create this endpoint, and you can see all the details which are relevant for your DComm endpoint. You can even enable your security of JWT token again. You can see that at the very endpoint of HTTP and WebSocket, with which you can actually work with in your application. You can again see the example code snippets and whatever quota is there, and also metrics for when you start consuming this endpoint. You can also see how the consumption is going so far for different methods and such. So that's DComm's endpoint. And at the very last, I'll also like to mention that Zeeve also supports staking as a service for DComm. When you're trying to set up a staking node for yourself, you really do not have to worry about the complexity of the infrastructure, the cloud, or the protocol in itself. You can just come on Zeeve. You can, in a few clicks, deploy your dedicated node for the purpose of staking and have your uptime ensured with the help of Zeeve. So proof of stake works on the fact that you have to have uptime for your node, and that's where again Zeeve helps you get that uptime, make sure all the monitoring analytics are in place, and you're always aware of your unhealthiness or your unhealthiness of your node, and you won't have any downtime as such. So Zeeve provides the experts to provide support for such protocols and such setups, as well as it provides all kind of automation which is required in such places. That's all what Zeeve provides for DComm. But again, we're adding more and more features for this amazing community, and we like to hear more from you guys what you guys want for DComm in general. It could be for endpoints, it could be for nodes, full nodes, archive nodes, or staking nodes in itself. Whatever it is that you think is beneficial to you guys, we're very happy to listen in and provide you those features as well. So that's a little bit of background of what Zeeve is giving out. But again, I would recommend that you sign in, and start using these services by yourself. Again, when you create an RPC endpoint onto Zeeve platform for DComm, you'll have 10 million API credits free, and you don't have to worry about most of the application, most of the consumption there. You can just start using these services directly. But again, if you have any use case, you can just go ahead and manage your nodes and network by yourself. Zeeve team will be always available to you on support for any help that you guys need. At the very last, I'd like to say that join us on all our social platforms. We're having a good presence in Twitter, LinkedIn, on Discord. We've got a good community there as well, on Telegram too. So whatever is your poison to keep up with the community, I would recommend that you join us there, and we'll be very happy to provide you all the updates regarding DComm and other bits that Zeeve has over onto those channels. So thank you for joining in, and I'll see you next time in another video about another blockchain protocol. Thank you for joining in. Bye-bye.